Welcome, Pathfinders, to the Find the Paths coverage of PaizoCon. We are here today with Griffin and Steve of the Hideous Laughter Podcast. How are you guys doing today?
You know, I've had some days that are days that I think I'm going to remember for a long time. This is certainly one of those, Rick. Thank you so much for having us on.
You're absolutely welcome. I'm surprised with the number of beers that are just on this table, how much you're going to remember. But you have video evidence, so it'll be back to you.
I'm worried. Mom and Dad, please tune out.
So,
yeah, I'm Steve, PC on the Hideous Laughter Podcast. This is the latest I've started drinking at PaizoCon. 2:30 in the afternoon. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm drinking a Torpedo Extra IPA from Sierra Nevada.
Myself, I'm drinking a Vitamin R, a Renoir, the beer of Seattle.
That's where we are.
Yes, that is in fact where we are.
Yes.
What?
This is news.
Welcome to Seattle, fans.
I thought you guys were based out of Texas.
Well, yes,
we came all the way down
we
to
are
Texas.
right now in Seattle. You're always welcome in Texas.
All right.
Dallas accepts everyone. Yeah. Anyway, so we are, of course, doing our coverage of PaizoCon. This is PaizoCon for 2019. This, I believe, is this is our fourth PaizoCon. 4 now.
Yeah. 1 year you weren't here with me, though. It was weird.
Yeah. So most of the time I am here. This is y'all's first PaizoCon.
The very first.
Yeah?
And holy people of the fine company Paizo, whose game we play and love, your hospitality has been noted.
We're coming back every year.
Yep.
This is so much fun.
We're coming back. We've had an absolute blast here. It's been just one of those times. Like I said, it's like I don't remember a lot of it, but
yeah,
it's been really fun from what I can recall.
We're rounding third here. I mean, it's Sunday. Con wraps up tomorrow morning. But geez, we flew in Thursday night. I was sick as a dog. I had flu-like symptoms. I had a fever I needed to sweat out. I shouldn't have came, but I did. And just ever since that night, we've been moving.
Yeah, just got to power through, man.
Seeing the GCP actual plays in the morning, going to seminars, drinking in the hotel room during the day, drinking in the hotel room after that, like a little closer to the
like
evening.
in between, like every time I take a bathroom break, drinking in the hotel room.
We've played a little 2E. We've done pickup games. We've done the delves. It's been a riot. Just this convention's great. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I've never gone to a PaizoCon and that I have not enjoyed. I think I've honestly enjoyed this PaizoCon more than almost anyone that I've gone to previously. Heather has words.
Yes, for real. This is probably the best PaizoCon I've been to. I've been to 4. This one's been the most fun. I feel like I've met a lot of people. We finally got to meet you guys.
You guys are kind of famous now, so it must make PaizoCon
We
a lot
have
more
had
fun.
people recognize us, and it's been really surreal.
Yeah.
They've come up to us and been like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh my God, you know who I am."
For any of those of you at home watching, we really appreciate every one of you that stopped and talked with us, and that was great. And we got a chance to meet with these guys.
Well, I will tell you
Actual
one thing.
celebrities.
I'll tell you one thing that I think maybe differentiates the pods for the worse for us when we're at a place where we can meet our fans. I have not been sober in a very long time, and that is 100% due to the Carrion Crowd, our group of fans that have nonstop been pulling out beers from pockets that I didn't know people normally had.
Yeah, at our meetup, one of the guys also listened to your podcast, and he pulls out 4 beers. It's like,
And
here
we
you
drank
go.
them all at last call.
So we were at these guys' meetup, and yeah, they do last call, and I'm like we got to keep going. It's early. We hadn't been there for long, and this guy throws a bunch of beers on the table, and I don't know, I'm a few sheets to the wind, so I'm just ripping beers open inside this brewery, just drinking, not a care in the world.
These aren't your beers, but we're going to drink them here anyway.
Where did you get that giant bottle of beer? I'm like, oh,
Somebody handed it to me? I don't know.
So you guys, you mentioned the Carrion Crowd,
Yeah.
which is, of course, your base. Much like we have our own Path folk, and we love all of our Path folk. And of course, that is a reference to the fact that you guys do Carrion Crown.
We do.
So for those of our fans out there who have not given the Hideous Laughter podcast a shot yet, what what's going on over there.
You
Well, let
should.
me just look straight into the camera here. If you've ever heard Mr. Rick do anything he does in Pathfinder, he knows a lot about the rules and how the world works and how the lore works. So take all of that, forget about it.
Griff, this is not a good sell.
I'm kidding.
You want to change your direction.
No, I know the direction that I'm going in.
All right.
No, but we play Carrion Crown. We market ourselves as an actually drunk podcast. I think you guys can attest to the fact that we do drink. I don't think we make it obnoxious on the podcast, except for every freaking episode where Steve slurps into the what?
Yeah.
Slurps into the mic, but that's okay. So we play Carrion Crown. We really like horror. That's kind of the gist of our podcast. It is a horror adventure path, and I've always loved running horror in my tabletop settings. So this was kind of my chance to flex those muscles. We have a lot of horror fans that are players on the podcast, and I think it bundles up into a really fun package. We get a lot of cliffhangers, that kind of thing, at the end of our episodes. Anything I missed, Steven?
Yes.
Yes. Distinctly.
No, just my favorite thing about what we're doing is that I'm playing with Griff, I'm playing with Haley, Brooks, and Emily, 4 of my very best friends in the world, and we just want anybody who listens to feel like that 6th person at the table. We've gotten a little bit of that feedback that like we tell you guys love each other, and it's true. We were hanging out before the podcast started, and we're not work acquaintances. We're not, we didn't make like a Craigslist ad to make an actual play podcast. Looking for 4 players who want to get spooked. No, it's just been an absolute blast playing with some of my best friends in the world, and we hope that comes through.
And I think the real magic of what both of our groups do is not just, and huge praise to the Find the Path podcast. I know we will be directing our friends to come listen to this, and we always do recommend you guys because you're so awesome. But I think the magic of the actual play podcasting for me has been being able to meet some awesome people, being able to connect with such this wonderful network of people that make everything that we do and all the effort and time that we put into these podcasts all worth it. It's an absolute blast and a pleasure to be able to sit down here with you guys and chat and maybe have a Rainier. And and we never would have met you if if we hadn't decided one day, hey, I like the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, there we go. First off, I don't like the sound of my own voice, but I hear it all the time.
Come on, man, those dulcet tones.
I know,
those dulcet tones. I'm like, how can you not like
dulcet tones discussing the desert wind? No, I'm not going to get into it. The Hideous Laughter you guys deliver on great audio quality. You deliver on exceptional characters that interact well with one another, that feed off of one another to progress the story. A great story to begin with, having actually played through Carrion Crown. I'm excited to see where you're going from there. I'm going to finish what I'm saying, Heather.
She almost nabbed it from me.
She almost nabbed it from me.
Almost got it.
And, of course, you all deliver on putting all that together in a cohesive package with a weekly release and keeping your fans up to date and keeping engaged with your fans, which is always something that I love to see from another podcast, that you're building a community and you're really supporting that. And I think that what you guys have been doing so far has been great. So absolutely keep it up.
Well, thank you so much for you made my heart grow 3 sizes.
Is my blush getting caught up by the camera? Because
we'll edit it in post.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Well, like Rick said, we've played through. We're in book 6 of Carrion Crown, so it's interesting to see another group and how things can be the same yet different, and how different characters handle different situations. And
Inquisitors, man.
Boom.
oh gosh, you guys.
So I'm guessing you had one of the better characters.
I'm playing a summoner, and yeah, it's lots of fun. My Eidolon is based off Slender Man. It's super creepy.
That is.
Do not
awesome.
let Rick talk to him about Pharasman Inquisitors. Just don't let it happen.
It doesn't
Get a couple
really
more of
matter
these into
because-
me, and it's happening.
Yeah. I'm worried about it, but by the same token, once that information is passed and Steve actually thinks that he knows a thing or two about Pathfinder, I'm just going to kill Matumbe. You heard it here first.
I had no expectation that my character was going to make it out of book 1, so all of this is bonus.
It's crazy.
Always expect
And if you
death.
have not caught up with the Hideous Laughter podcast, maybe he didn't make it out of book 1. I realize that might be a huge spoiler.
Hashtag spoilers.
We have an episode called Death of a Pharasman. Wonder
That's
how
true.
that one ended up. Guess
Not
you're
great.
All right. Well, of course, the big thing coming out of Paizo right now, second edition. We've gotten a chance to play a little bit. I particularly enjoyed it. So just figured I'd get an idea of, what are your thoughts about second edition? What are your thoughts about, the new direction that Paizo's taking and combining the campaign setting and the player's companion lines and providing all these new options and really just revamping the game that both of us or all of us here have spent all this time building
much
worlds
time.
around. Yeah.
So, my thoughts on the matter is turn back the clocks a couple years, and I was playing just Pathfinder, and then I'm getting excited for them to announce more APs, more material, and then they tell me that they're going to start making Starfinder. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
I don't need this. I don't want it. I'm not looking for it. I just want Pathfinder
I
to
don't
grow.
want it, man.
And then I played one session of Starfinder, fell in love with it, and it's a wonderful game. Now they announced 2E. I'm like, man, I don't need this. Like, what's going on? And we were playing yesterday. I know it's Friday. These days are all blending together.
It has bled together.
But so we were playing on Friday, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is the first time we ever played. We played an encounter with a apparition of Lamashtu in 8th level monster against our level 1 party. We got TPK'd. We got TPK'd. Didn't go great.
I was Fumbus, the goblin. I couldn't get myself out of that one.
And then the guy so we got wiped, and the guy stands up, and the Paizo folks that are running these delves are on a kind of a timer, and then guess who tags in as our GM, Eric Mona. So
Yeah.
we're like, we're not leaving this table.
We had planned to actually see you guys at one of the panels, but Eric Mona rolls up to the table, and it's us and one other person, and he's like, well, I saw you guys get TPK'd. Do you want to run the beginning of kind of this line of this adventure? Do you want to run the first scenario? And glued to seat.
Yeah.
Yes, my body is ready. Take me through the scenario, Eric. And he runs us through it, and God, that dude is a masterclass of taking something as basic as a goblin fight and turning it into just the descriptive, fun adventure.
A lot of tension,
He
yeah.
he turned like the iconic characters and let us kind of run with them in a direction that I'm sure they don't go. I was Valeros, the fighter, during Eric's run, and I took his lore farmer way too far. I've seen a couple of things give birth before. In the Temple of Lamesh, too. So it was just a blast, and I think second edition to me is what I'm most excited for, I guess, is the fact that Pathfinder First Edition, so much fun in a system that I love to death, but is so crunchy that it becomes difficult to get newer people into it unless you have a very solid group, solid group of people that are friends, that are going to walk you through it, that are going to, sit with you and help you build a character, help you get through the rules, help you on your rolls, that kind of thing. I think second edition, while still keeping the complexity and the intrigue, the character builds, all of that, and the huge setting on top of it, that is one of the best fantasy settings that exists in the world today, in my opinion. Tie a bow around that with more accessible. The crunch is there, but it's less of a why does that work? Like why is that a thing that there was a rule created around, or why is that a thing that I have to roll for? What is that? I think second edition starts to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, some of the directions they've taken the rules, and they've kind of brought some other, like, some skills and stuff together as one check, made it different but still wonderful, I think. And I'm really, I'm bought in. I have like $300 worth of books coming to me on August 1st, but I'm bought in because I really want to try it, and I really trust Paizo as a company to, take everyone's feedback and make something amazing. And I know they will.
Just cleaning up the Action Academy is worth the price of admission. Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah. And I think you can't come to PaizoCon. You can't talk to the... It's always sad sometimes to see when you're looking at the message boards or we're looking at people's feedback, and all these people have these negative opinions about how they're ruining their game. And you can't come to PaizoCon and talk to Jason Bowman or Stephen Randy McFarlane or any of the development teams and not see the pure passion that they have for what they're doing, that they're trying to deliver what is, in their minds, the absolute best mechanics to allow you to tell the stories that you want to tell. And so I think that that's going to be great moving forward. I look forward to seeing, your thoughts or hearing your thoughts from you guys on what, when you get the books in your hands, start taking a look at them, what you feel about them. So, well, this has been a great interview. Why don't you guys tell these folks where they can find you, where they can listen to you, where they can read whatever it is that you write.
Oh, it's sloppy. Probably give me your phone number. I'll text you something after.
What in the world?
We are the Hideous Laughter Podcast. You can find us at Laughter Hideous on Twitter. You can find us at on our Discord. We'll shoot you an invite, but if you go to the Twitter, you will find the link to that. And we have a good community of folks there talking about TTRPGs, talking about what we do, talking about what they're doing. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. We have a subreddit, r Hideous Laughter. Check that out because we're the only ones that do, I think.
and it's, as long as you remember the name, it's not going to be that hard to find us. What we try to do is be very, very active on social media. So if you're going to send us something, we're going to respond to it. You're going to be able to chat with us. That's kind of our mission statement.
We got that dope 5-minute response time on Facebook or something when
Crushing
you
it.
create a group and they say they're very quick to respond.
And of course, you're the Hideous Laughter Podcast, so you can find them on your favorite podcasting app. If you are an iTunes person, why not rate and review these guys? Give them a couple episodes, and
Rick,
look at that. They've got some.
Did you just come up with that?
I just now.
Are you writing this
while
down?
I was sitting here.
I'm taking notes. I've
right,
been
good.
taking notes ever since I saw him on first night of PaizoCon.
So thank you so much for coming in here and listening to all of us from the Find the Path podcast, the Hideous Laughter Podcast. Good luck, Path Folk and Carrion Crown.
And finish your drinks because we'll see you next week.
Later.